Hey guys, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be discussing about interfaces. So interfaces are another crucial part of OOP, and in interfaces, like from the book we can see that using interfaces you can specify what a class must do but not how it does it. So we are basically not like whenever we are using interfaces, we are telling a class that these are the things or these are the methods that you should implement or that you should have, but we are not telling them how these methods would operate. So we would be creating or overriding our own methods. It's similar to abstract, but it's a bit different. We would come to that later on. So interfaces are similar to classes, but they lack instance variables, and as a general rule their methods are declared without any body. So similar to abstract classes, we do not have any methods do not have any body. And one of the biggest things that we need to understand here is, let's say we have a class called A, and we extend it to, let's say, another class, let's say B. However, one of the things that is like the constraints in OOP is that we cannot have multiple parents. So a child cannot have like multiple parents assigned to him, and that's like very obvious and stuff. But when it comes to interfaces, we can have multiple interfaces. So class A, let's say, extends class B, and whenever we are trying to use interfaces, we use the word implements. So class A extends B and implements, let's say, C, D, E, and so on. So we separate different interfaces using a comma, and this is where the polymorphism concept comes in. So Java allows you to fully utilize one interface multiple methods aspect of polymorphism. So let's just look into how an interface looks like. So whenever we are creating an interface, we need to first give it an access modifier, so public, private, or whatever you want to put it, default. So interface, then we write the name interface and then the name of that interface. So here we can see that we have like methods which do not have any body whatsoever, and we have variables. And in terms of like having variables inside an interface, you have to remember that variables are always final and they're always static. This is something that you always have to remember when it comes to interfaces, that they always have to be initialized. So for like example in here, see, we have the values that are initialized, and these values are always implicitly said they are final and static, meaning that you can never change it. Okay, so let's just move on and look over here. So as I said just now, as general form shows, variables can be declared inside in interface declarations. They're implicitly final and static, meaning they cannot be changed by implementing the class. They must be initialized. All methods and variables are implicitly public. So let's just look into an example on to see how it works. So this is a class. So this is like basically our child class, and its name is class name, which can extend to only one superclass, so one parent here. However, we can have multiple implements or multiple interfaces, and inside we have the class body. In class implementations, more than one interfaces are separated with a comma. Okay, so here we have a class client which implements callback being the interface which we have here. So interface callback, and it has a method callback again, but doesn't have any method body. Okay, so let's move on. So as client implements callback, it definitely has to override that callback method and put some content inside of it, so which it does. Callback method called with b, where b is the parameter. Now you have to remember, when we are overriding methods from an interface, it has to be declared public. It just has to be. And now when we can see that here, so class client implements callback, we have a public method which we overridden, and we have our own like concrete method that's just for us. And now if we test this, and one of the things that you have to like remember here is in interfaces, so let's say we are creating a variable called callback C that would only carry values of a callback class. So but in this case callback refers to an interface, and any object of an interface can hold the reference to the child, or in this case the client. So remember we said client interface client implements callback. So in this case a callback variable can hold the reference to a client object, and whenever we're calling c.callback, it's basically going to, so runtime polymorphism again, is going to the method callback within the child class and running that, so which would print out callback called with p, where we are passing 42, so callback called with 42. So this is the answer that we get. So this is what is basically written here. Although C can be used to access callback method, it cannot access any other members of the client class. So callback C doesn't have any access to other members of the client class. So client class, remember we had like a method called non-iFaceMeth and client class, so C cannot have access to that method. An interface reference variable has knowledge only of the methods declared by the interface declaration. C could not be used to access non-iFaceMeth since they find client but not callback. And when it comes to like partial implementations, if a class includes interface but you don't want to like override these methods which was a must, then you can say that class is an abstract class, and then you write the class and the name and implements callback. So this is like giving you a basic idea of how interfaces work and the theme behind it. Hope you guys liked it, and please do subscribe to my channel for more contents like this. Thank you.